presentation didn't work for some reason, but thank you so much for coming. And today we're gonna talking about like cosplay painting, I mean like props painting and other stuff, because well, you know, sometimes you can make a like really good prop from EVA foam, 3D printing and other stuff, and you are like afraid to paint it because like sometimes a bad paint job can like ruin all your work. Or maybe even sometimes like your foam work isn't so good, but the paint job can make it like perfect. And it's like all the same like in a painting, like on a paper, you have like perfect line art, perfect sketch, and sometimes like, well, I hope I won't ruin it with my like markers and other stuff. So I will tell you how to like avoid ruining your craft with painting and make it like perfect. So I will give you some like random advices in the end of the slideshow, but right now let's start from like the basics. Here is like a pyramid of the most important stages of the craft painting, and the very beginning, like the most important part of the like cosplay prop painting is priming. It's like obvious. I mean like, and okay, we will go through every stage like one by one, and I will like tell you more about all of those phases and some more, and also about weathering. It goes like between shadows and highlights, but we will start from like the main point, like from priming. Well, priming is really important. Like it's like the base, like the main thing in painting, because like all your paint, all your airbrush and other stuff goes on your priming. And if you will ruin priming, like guys, you're at that point nothing will save you. I don't like being dramatic. So it's really important to prime your craft properly. It depends like foam, 3D printing, like anything. So yeah. Firstly, I will tell you some. I will give some examples for good primers. I mean, like for EVA foam, it's really important to for primer to be flexible, because every EVA foam is like flexible. If you are doing armor, helmet, like any kind of weapon, it bends, and so if you won't take like a flexible primer, so it will cracks, and your paint job will also crack, and well, you will mess it up. So that's why it's really important for EVA foam to take like flexible, any flexible primers. These are some good primers. I mean, some Cosplay should be primers. They are so good, like Cosplay paint and Flex Bond. And if you don't want to use brushes, you can use Plasti Dip. And I don't know how you guys, but in Ukraine, I'm from Ukraine, yeah. In Ukraine we have a rubber paint, and this is like a really good stuff. It has a huge potential. For buildings, it used like for roofs and benches and other stuff, but it has like really good potential for priming EVA foam. And like my arm is primed with just a rubber paint. It's super cheap and super easy to get, and it's really nice to work with. Also, it smells good, not like some toxic thing like Plasti Dip, when you can't like enter your room after using Plasti Dip and other stuff. Also, like obviously when you do a 3D printing, 3D printing doesn't bend, so I don't care typically which primer to use. I usually use just simple primers from cans, and they do a great job for priming any 3D printing or maybe PVC thing or any like plastic non-bending stuff. But the main point of like priming, it's not about like getting a proper primer, it's just how to apply it properly. Because I mean the scariest thing for priming EVA foam is getting those terrible strokes from brush. If you don't rid of them during the priming stage, you will get them on your painting stage, on your shadow stage, and other stuff. You won't get rid of them like at all. So these are my personal advices how to get rid of those terrible brush strokes. Well, One of them is really obvious. You can use Plasti Dip and other spray can primer because like no brush stroke, like nice. And also really unobvious advice is just to use sponges. You can use like simple kitchen sponges or use like this stuff. They're, I don't know how they in English, but they are used for like getting your windows and your doors warmer. But in the building shop and other stuff, they are super cheap and they are like super huge, like foam sausages. You can just cut them into small pieces and use like anytime. This is a really good like method of applying primer. You take your sponge. First you apply your primer. For example, a flex bond, rubber paint, or cosplay paint. That from cosplay should be that one. You apply it with your brush and take your sponge and then just pump it on your EVA foam. And because of that, sponge will get rid of all those brush strokes. And it's like, this is for my personal, the best way. I mean, like, it does a real great job. But you need to like look at your time because all of those primers getting dry really easily and really fast. So you need to like do it quickly. Like apply, take sponge, pat, done. So, I mean, it's done. Also, a really good advice to use makeup brushes because they are so nice, so soft, and if you will be really like, if you will be careful, they won't leave any brush strokes like that, and it will be nice. Also, you can try silicone brushes, but personally I don't like them because they're too random. You can apply perfectly and then scratch your craft non-intentionally. But these are really good advices to how to apply your primer without brush strokes. Also, if you like accidentally get a brush strokes during the primer stage, you can just take a small sandpaper piece, like a really smooth sandpaper, and just and nobody's gonna know that you had brush strokes. So after that, after priming, you made the great job. You primed everything, but here is the adventure starts. You made the most complicated stuff, but not right now is the most like important stuff, obviously, painting. There is nothing like mysterious here. You can apply paint from spray cans for anything which is not flexible, not for EVA foam, for like 3D printing, plastic, PVC and other stuff. You can apply it from spray cans and everything will be perfect. Just find like one basic color that will fit you. But for EVA foam, don't use spray cans. Spray cans are not flexible, so that's why even if you apply flexible primer, if you use unflexible paint, it will also cracks on the like when you will bend it. So, I'm sorry, I'm getting comfortable. So, just use acrylics and also try to use these like non-brush stroke techniques just to avoid them, because if you prime your craft properly without brush strokes, you still can get those brush strokes during like painting stage. Yeah. And also there is like really helpful way to apply your paint is an airbrush. But guys, I don't recommend anyone to use airbrush for like beginners, because like airbrush is a really good stuff. It applies paint like perfectly. But if you're not ready to look after like coffin baby, Victorian child, you are not ready for the airbrush yet. Because airbrush are really expensive, they're really hard to look after them because they're clogs every time. They live their own life. And if you are not ready to like spend 2 months learning how to use airbrush, just don't start, please. Because I remember when I bought my first airbrush, I was like, yeah, I'm a cool guy, I have like airbrush, I will do everything. After that, I almost throw it into like my window because like, you don't want to work, I don't want you at all. That's only because like I didn't spend enough time learning how to work with airbrush. Like any wrong move and it will not be working because it has its own life. But if you learned how to use an airbrush properly, I will give you like good advice because, well, we all know that airbrush itself is really expensive, but paints for airbrush are also super expensive and they are super small and there are not enough shades of the like paintbrush paints. You have like usually you have like basic colors. And they are super expensive. My personal like advice, I usually use like simple acrylics, mix them with water, like so they will like has a consistency of water, like really mix them with water, and then use filter to get away from those crumbs of
particles.
Yeah, thank you so much, from particles. And after that you have like perfect airbrush paint. It's really comfy because you can get like any shade of any color you want, and also acrylics, like they are not expensive at all. I usually have like a huge box of acrylics and I mix them. I mean, like when I was working on my Bo-Katan Christ cosplay, you think I could find this shade of blue in my like airbrush, in this airbrush set. Thank you so much. I don't do English today, it's too early for me. I just mixed everything. I mixed blue, gray, white, black, mix it all, everything, mix it with water, and I get a perfect airbrush color. So, yeah. Then shadows. This is my most, yes. This is my most favorite part because like, if you want to make a good looking prop, you need to apply shadows because if you don't apply shadows like this or like that, your prop will look like you bought it from a toy store, like Hasbro toy, but not a like real helmet. And just to avoid this toy looking look, you need to apply shadows. This is my most favorite part because like, I mean, like you see the difference. You are working hard and then applying shadows, like wow, I like it. So here are the methods for applying shadows. The first one is the easiest way and the most like beginner friendly is doing a dry brush. It means like you can look through any YouTube video for like people who are drawing miniatures. They usually use dry brush techniques like all the time. It's really comfy for them, but it also works for a huge props. You just take a really harsh brush and some really dry paint and just apply your shadows like in these smooths really fast, in the corners, in the edges, and it will do the same job as an airbrush. It will look the same. Oil paints are also like a good method for applying shadows, but I personally don't like it because I just hate oil paints. They dry really for a really long time. They are super unpredictable because like they're oily. But if you mix oil paints with some oil, you can like apply your oil paints in the corners and maybe blend it a little bit with your brush, and you will get like perfect shadows for your craft. But yeah, you need to remember that oil paints dries like for 2 days or maybe a week. It depends on how much oil paints you put on your craft. Also, it's really important to test everything. It's like, I needed to tell you this in the beginning of the presentation, test everything. You are not sure about like new paint, new varnish, new primer, test it on a piece of foam. Don't test it on your prop. You won't like the result. And all paints are really needed to be tested with your like varnishes and other stuff because they have oily textures, oily components, and sometimes if you apply varnish on the oil paints, it can like crack, make bubbles, and just peel off from your craft. It just depends on the craft because it depends on the paints and depends on the varnish you use. And the third method of applying shadows is the most obvious, airbrush, but as I told you, I won't recommend it for the beginners, and because airbrush clogs all the time, you can like easily mess up your work because it can do straight line, then stop doing straight line, then on your craft, and you will like ruin everything. So first of all, learn how to do an airbrush and then test it on your craft so you won't mess it up. Then my second most favorite part is applying highlights. Some people are avoiding this part because some people don't really understand why it is needed to apply highlights. But you can see on this slide, this is my Jinx boots, by the way. I applied shadows on my. You can see here. I applied shadows on my boot, but you can't see like the edges. You can't see the edges. You can see anything because shadows blends everything like all together in one color, in one like shape. But highlights here, they literally highlights all the edges and all this stuff, and it looks like really cool. And here, this is my like hornet arm. I just added some claws, and I understood because like my craft is fully black, and if I wouldn't apply highlights, you just lose all the edges, all the spikes, because they would blend in one black like spot. So applying highlights is really important, and here are 3 methods for applying highlights. If you want to make like those sharp, defined highlights, they're really good for battle damages. I mean, like if you like this, if you have like huge sword fighting battle damage, it's really cool to just take a brush and draw a straight line. It's usually like highlighted a lot, and if you have a lot of like battle damage like cuts, if you highlight all of them, your armor would shine like a diamond. Also, you can take a sponge or a dry brush technique with a dry brush and dry paint, and you can apply just in the corners or in the edges like that with your sponge, and it will apply it really like nicely, and it like blends. You can blend your paints and your you can blend your paint in a really nice way. Yes. And again, airbrush. I don't usually use airbrush for highlights because it's too soft. It's too soft, and I really like really sharp highlights. But sometimes these really soft highlights are really good for like shining effects, like this, because I wanted to make like a really smooth looking armor, and this glow, it makes it like perfect way. And also it's really good when you want to make like fake LEDs. You just put some paint on your airbrush and put some on, and it will get you a really cool glowing effect with like fake LEDs. And this is part which all people actually like. Okay, not all people, but many people are avoiding putting on varnish on your craft. And I think like it's really important because like it looks so nice and brings all those colors, all those highlights, shadows, and everything you put all together like in one picture, in one thing. And it also protects your craft from scratching and other stuff. And what kind of varnishes I can recommend, it's really, really an obvious recommendation. I found out about it when I was working in the cosplay studio making crafts, and yacht varnish for boats. They are really, really cool because they are super flexible and they are super shiny, highly durable because literally they're made for boats. And it's easy to apply with an airbrush or a brush. And it's my arm was made it was varnished with a yacht varnish, and it shines like a diamond. I mean, without this varnish, my arm won't look like that cool. And this is yacht varnish that I use in Ukraine, but maybe you can find the same yacht varnish in your building shops, or maybe something the same. It's kinda costly, but you have a huge bottle for a kinda expensive price, but it will last you for years. So this is absolutely an obvious recommendation. And for 3D printing, plastic and other unflexible craft, you can use just spray cans, varnishes, but usually try to apply them in a really, really small layers, because if you will get drops of the varnish from the spray can, you won't get rid of them and you will mess everything up. And weathering. I love doing weathering because sometimes your craft won't look real without it, especially when you are doing some kind of with Star Wars, any homeless man from any anime show. Without weathering, you won't be good looking. I mean, for my Bakatan Christ, this craft, I mean, she's fighting every day for her life in the desert, in the forest, shooting from blasters, and of course her armor would look like crap. So here is my recommendation for weathering. It's not I like weathering because it's more like an experiment. There is no special methods for applying weathering. It usually do whatever you want if you think this is beautiful. Just you want to take your pants and throw them away into a trash and then pick them up back. Okay, if it looks okay for you, perfect. I actually once I needed to look like absolute trash for my Jinx cosplay. I just took my pants, and my workshop, it has a lot of dust because of all these paints that I'm using. I just took my pants, put them in the dust, bump them around my workshop, take them back yes, they look like trash. This is perfect. This is Jinx. Yes.
I stepped into a car and drove. Perfect result.
Yes. Actually, my friend, do you know Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice game? Okay, it's a girl who is Nordic style, and she is has schizophrenia, and so she look absolute trash. She's crazy, and she has mud all over her face and dirt and other stuff. And my friend once, she has this costume, she applied all this weathering and other stuff, and she was going to her photo shoot, and she's well, that's not enough. I need more dirt, more mud. And she asked her husband, it was really rainy outside, there were lots of water outside and mud, and she was I'll be standing here. Dear husband, can you drive around and make all those water splashes on me? And he was what? But please, that would help me a lot, please, darling. And she was standing, and he was riding back and forth, straight and forwards around the mud, and just on her. And she was perfect, thank you so much, I will go. And her husband please don't sit in the car. So, yes, dry brush, airbrush, do whatever you want, sponge, but try to use different colors. I mean, weathering, people usually weather their costume with only black color, but it's mud And dirt, it's not black, it's brown, it's like yellow, it's blue, it's like... my friend Matthew is gonna make like a panel about cosplay crafting, and I like him saying like, guys, did you ever see the tree? Tree is not brown, tree is green, tree is yellow, tree is blue, mix colors all together to get a real like mud, to get a real dirt. Right here, this is my West pistol. I was looking at the reference and I understand that this is like, it has a real rust. It looks really terrible, and I like, okay, I will mix like a tone of different shades of like metallic silver, brown, rust and other stuff and just apply it all together so it looked like trash. So yes, it looked like trash and I was so happy. Also I applied some highlights on my scratches, and so I really enjoyed the result. What I'm telling you. You guys, you can just look at it, pass it like to every other people, I don't mind. But just don't shoot everyone, please. And actually, I really enjoy like weathering, which involves the environment where the person is. I mean, like, from this anime, a guy goes through the desert, and that's why I added some rust and like some scrambles, like if it's scratches from the sand. And I also have a friend who has a Dune costume from the like Dune show, and like Dune guys are usually walking through the sand, and he literally just take some sand from the street and apply some glue and throw some sand on this glue, and like I'm the sand person. And he was full of sand, full of mud, and I was like, that's perfect. I mean, like, that's so smart. If you're walking on the desert, why you won't apply some sand on your costume? This is smart. Yeah, this is again, like, don't be afraid experimenting with colors, because sometimes, like, mixing everything together and applying everything right on your prop makes a huge difference. I mean, like, look at this and look at that. This pad seen some shit. Also, this is also one of the unobvious recommendations. I love using wood stain. This is like a paint for the wood. I don't know if I translated it right. You can paint your fake fur with the wood stain because it has alcohol in it, and painting fur with your simple acrylics, it makes like everything stuck together and glued together, but not with wood stain because it has alcohol in it. And if you paint a fur with the wood stain, it will like brushes really easily. And it applies really easily. I mean, like, this is the best way to paint fake fur. Also, with the wood stain, you can make a perfect like rust and perfect rust. All my like fallout commissions, I just take a huge bottle of wood stain and one more. It makes a perfect color, a perfect like texture, and also a perfect like drops of wet rust on the stuff. And also it's good for like fake blood things, like dry fake blood spots, and just a simple like dirt on your shirt. If you want to look like trash, you just apply some light wood stain on your shirt, and you will look like you have puked on your shirt. And I will recommend this, like, it calls filter technique, and because this is called filter technique, and you take some acrylics, mix them with water, like really mix them with water, and you can apply it in your bumps or even on the whole craft to make it look like literally like you applying filter on your image. It's really good for making all this stuff more old, more antique. You like painted it silver, but you're like, oh no, it looks like a new one. I want it to look like a trash or an antique. And you mix like brown paint with water, apply it on your sword, then take a small like piece of paper towel, just put off all the water, and you will get like a real filter, and it will look like antique. Yeah. And this is like absolutely random life hacks because they're cool and I don't know where to put them in my presentation, so that's why like slideshow of random life hacks. Remember I was telling you about like brush strokes and that they are so bad, but if you want to make a perfect wood texture, you need those brush strokes. You take the harshest brush that you have, take the most dry paint that you have, and do the really harsh brush strokes. And this how you will get like a perfect wood texture. You can like try different colors like that. There is like and black, violet, purple, yellow, orange, different colors, and you apply them one by one, layer by layer, with your very harsh and dry brush. This is my favorite. I really enjoy painting wood texture. This is really weird, guys, but if you want to make a perfect yellow color, I mean, like, I think everyone who tried to paint yellow color struggled a lot because you need like 7 layers of yellow paint to make it look normal. And more layers you put, then more trashy it looks. But if you will put like pink color and then apply yellow color on pink, it will look perfect from the first layer. I don't know what kind of dark magic is that. I didn't believe it for the first time. My friend watching like miniature painting videos all the time, and he came to the work and was like, guys, I need to tell you something. Like, what? Give me pink and yellow paint, please. And we tried, and every worker on the workshop was like, what? Like, we really need to paint the whole armor pink and then yellow? Yes, yes. And it really works. I mean, it depends on different shades of pink and different shades of yellow, of what color you really need. And you need to try some experiments because colors are blended together a little bit. And it's like, this is like hot yellow color, and if you need like bright yellow color, just try different shade of pink. My friend, who was like car painter, told me the secret that you can mix spray cans of paint. They are not mixing like you take a yellow spray can and blue spray can, mix them together and you get green, but you can make a different and many shadows, many shades of the different spray cans colors. I mean, like, these two are the same color, but this one I put on metallic, a silver color, and this one I put on a black color. I won't be able never to buy this shade of blue metallic color, never. And these two, they're also mixed. This is simple gray, and this is blue metallic, and the gray together. This was a perfect color for my Bogatan Prize blasters. I would never find something like that, but mixing two spray cans together, I get a perfect color.
So you like spray one and then you spray other?
Yes.
I let it dry and then?
No, on the wet. I forgot to mention that. You like, it's rather not mixing them, but putting a different low layer of the color. I mean, like, you can try, this is my next advice. Take some spoons, plastic spoons, and try painting one black, one like brown, one yellow, and then taking your, for example, green color and apply on the wet spray can a green color, and then like mix a little bit together. And this is like, it works every time. I really enjoy also mixing different metallic cans because they are really good at mixing all together because of these glitter parts. And yeah, it works every time. I really like that. And this one, right now I'm working on Power Ranger commission, green Power Ranger, and I bought like 6 cans of green color and nothing was like perfect color. Okay, I bought a yellow can, sprayed the yellow can, and then a green can, it was perfect. I was like, okay, I'll be painting the whole helmet yellow and then green. And yes, next advice, when you are mixing all these cans together, it's really comfy to take these plastic spoons and write what the hell are you doing? I mean, like after my experience on Power Ranger, I have like 16 different spoons, and every time like, okay, I forgot which one was like grass green, which one was leaf green, which one was yellow green, I don't remember, but after each test, I just take a spoon, write the number of the like spray can and what the hell I was doing, like mixing them together or not mixing them together, and after that I have a huge bunch of spoons, and it's really comfy to like, oh, I need to paint this thing, what color of gold should I have, like bronze gold or this gold, and you just take spoon, look at them, maybe just simple gold, not the bronze gold. It's really good for having like those little examples of the cans that you have. Remember I was telling you that you don't need to paint your foam craft with spray cans? Yes, but you can apply some glitter from the metallic cans on your foam. If you will take like foam piece and take like, for example, like this first example, I was doing like nice little fragile flower and I painted white, and I was like, well, it's looked too simple. I want it to like to shine or maybe like look someone like sparkly, and I take my spray can with white pearl, and from the long distance I applied this spray can. And because I didn't do it like this, I didn't do it from far away, only glitter fall on the like petals of the flower, and it, well, unfortunately on the presentation you can see how shiny it is, unfortunately, but it was really shiny like a pearl. And I just, wow, okay, I will do this more time. And my friend was doing armor cosplay from Mandalorian, and her breastplate was also really shiny, like shiny red, and we were like, okay, we don't have like red shiny acrylics maybe, and I'm taking my spray can with red metallic paint and spray it like far away, and all those glitters literally fall on this breastplate, and it looks perfect. Again, it's quite unfortunate that you can see like my example of the my photo of the breastplate. It really shines so bright, but on the presentation it doesn't, like, you can see that, unfortunately. And thank you everyone for listening me for my TED talk, and thank you so much. Maybe if someone of you has some questions, even not like paint related, maybe some like cosplay related questions, I will happily answer them. No questions?
How do you differentiate the varnish levels, and like how do you know how much how a layer is enough? Like how do you know when to stop?
From a spray can, I take a huge lamp, like table lamp, and put it right in front of my craft and apply, and looking at the like glowing of the paint, and when I'm applying and see it's not glows, it's not enough. Apply a little bit more, it glows, enough. I mean, it's much better to apply with apply varnish 5 times with small layers. It's much better than applying one layer but huge one. It will just drop like with little drops, and you will ruin everything. And I mean, this can be applied to almost everything. It's much better to apply everything with small layers, like one by one, a little step by step, much better than applying a huge amount of paint, varnish, or anything on the one stage. Yeah.
Thank you.
Please. Yeah.
Did you ever try to mix layers of various types of colors? For example, the airbrush and the acrylics or the oil and the oil pearl colors on one surface. How do they match? How do they like each other and dislike?
Usually, yeah, almost every craft needs like a huge amount of different shades and colors. For example, okay, my Bokatan Christ cosplay maybe it was the most complex one. You can see, like, for example, blasters. They're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, many types of many colors and many types of different paint. And I just okay, there is one rule. Spray cans are like based on the alcohol, and the acrylics are based on water. And sometimes they are not friends. You cannot mix a lot of like water-based paints and then varnish it with a spray can because it will have cracks. Water-based colors, they dries not for a very long time. And the spray can with alcohol in it dries them too fast and they cracks. So that's why, for example, my blasters, they are plastic, and I try to paint them only in spray cans because, like, I know that I will varnish them with my spray can. So that's why I avoided acrylics like as much as I can. The only acrylic part was like this wooden handle. And I let them to dry for like 2 weeks, just to be sure, so they won't crack. And I learned this when I was painting my Bokatan helmet. Oh, thank you so much. When I was painting my Bokatan helmet like this, I applied I painted the whole helmet with my airbrush, with acrylics, water-based. And after that, I will just put a spray can on it, like on the top, and I just do one psh, and I see that all the helmet started to cracking. And I was like, no way, no, bring it back. And after that, I understood you don't have to mix water-based paints and the like anything from a spray can. But my Bokatan was fine. After I let her like to dry completely in like 2 weeks, I come back, spray again, and everything was fine. It's just like water-based paints are drying. They look like they are dried already, but they're not. Inside, they're still like watery, like that.
Okay, thank you.
Please.
Do you have any advice on how to like paint fabric? Because I see your coat is like weathered. So how do you do that?
This one was with airbrush, but sometimes like every weathering is an experiment. This one I only wanted to have like a little bit of shadow. That's why I applied only black shadows with my airbrush, and that's all. I didn't want it to be like really dirty. But if I wanted, I would also use some wood stain to make like spots of like maybe grease or something like that, and maybe apply some sand on it because like this character walks in the desert a lot. Well, it absolutely depends on the character and what you want to achieve. I mean, when I was working on my Jinx, I wanted also her to look like she's from a trash can, so that's why I applied dust. I applied brown shadows from my airbrush. I applied dry brush from my black dry brush shadows, and I was like putting everything all together so they will look like she's fresh out of trash can. But actually, it's really important to weather your clothes, because if you are weathering your like props, and your clothes is clean, it looks weird. I mean, like, you know this when you're watching the cinema, you're watching a movie, and the person in white clothes walking around the desert for a week, and you see like your clothes is clear. I don't believe that your clothes would be clear after walking in the desert for a week. No way. You would look like trash. Why you're not looking like trash? So yeah.
When you were talking about those weapons, those guns, you mentioned that one part that you use acrylics on just one part of them. How did you go about like differentiating the parts, like separating? Like you have to use different type of varnish or some sealant to different. When it comes to like, did you use like tape to hide it or something?
It was really complicated to like separate each color because first of all I started from the like, you see this one like golden bronze stuff, they're like deeply, like they're the lowest layer, and I started from that because like, okay, this is the lowest layer, it will be really not hard to cover it with a tape, so I paint the whole blaster in like this golden color, absolutely whole, because like I don't care. And after that, letting them dry, and I just cover it with the tape. And these are literally like they're holes. There is a whole thing. Do you do nails? Sometimes nails masters can have like latex, like liquid latex with them. Yes. They apply liquid latex around your nail to avoid paint to get a polish to get on your fingers. And this thing really good because you can, this is a hole, and I just take liquid latex and pour it into this hole. It dried, and I paint another layer and just peel off this latex. It was super cool. I mean, like, mind-blowing technique. It was also stolen from the like people who are drawing miniatures, because sometimes they cover with this latex part they don't want to touch to protect them. And with the help of tape and this liquid latex, I just painted some stuff. Also, you can see those silver scratches. I actually, first of all, my first layer was silver, and then I applied latex, like scratches with latex, to cover silver parts, and then after I finished painting the whole stuff, I just scratched this latex out of the blasters, and they will look so real because after like 5 layers or layers of the paint, it was super like voluminous. I mean, like it really looked like a real scratch. And all the same with my helmet. Oh, not this way. And all the same with this helmet, I applied, there were 8 layers of the paint. First of all, I applied black paint, cover some, oh my god, English. I applied black, put some latex on it. You can see here like a huge spot of black. Then I applied silver, put again some latex on it, like scratches, some bumps, and then blue, again some latex here on the white parts, and then black, and then like owl eyes, and then I was sitting for an hour and peeling off all those latex parts because there are so many. But the result was cool. It was super voluminous, and it looks like a real scratch. How much time? Okay, thank you so much, guys, for your attention. But I really need to go to the like evaluation and the judging stuff. I'm so thankful for your questions and your attention. Дякуем за позорность.